Hi there, parents. In this video, I'm going to be tuning into the energies and the astrology for this first half of April to help you and your children understand what experiences, what energies you may be faced with, how to meet them and move with them, rather than being in the canoe and paddling upstream without a paddle. My name is Chrissy Wissler. I am a quantum, multidimensional astrologer, intuitive, and even more important, I am a parent of two very unique and very special children. And if you find that you're really having a difficult moment with your kids, maybe their sensitivities, this electricity of this moment is so intense, and you need support, please reach out. I do offer these Chart Your Stars readings. We can look at your astrology or your children's. What is their soul asking them to do in this moment to help guide you and to help guide them to meet what is being asked at this time? So please send me a message, leave me a comment, or go to my website at chrissywissler.com. And please like this video. Subscribe to this channel. That helps me so much to connect with other parents like you. And I'm totally going to apologize. I can just feel that I'm in a channeling state right now. I actually just finished filming the astrology video, the general one. We really look at the astrology. This one here, I always focus on the lens of a parent, but whoa, I'm really not even attached to my body, so I can just tell if you hear my words kind of like stumble more than normal, that's why. Again, it's just very intense energies that have been coming through today, as well as, again, channeling this astrology was not expected. All right, so obviously, some of the current energies that I've just experienced, sharing with you. If you find that your children right now have been highly electrical, just tornadoes of energy, or very sensitive, very emotional, please know that you are not alone. This has been highlighted, bringing us into that Aries equinox that occurred gosh, I don't even know what date it was anymore. It's March 20th. Oh my gosh, time is starting to slip for sure. March 20th, very electrical, very intense. I found that I was simply doing the very best that I could to help Eric, my youngest, to release and move through that energy. Like, that was my days. I did not get to sit and to channel and to receive all the downloads. Nope. I was busy being a mom in a city and supporting him, who is a very electrical, tuning in with his antenna to those energies and the experiences people were having. And then the following week, though, that March 30th was a much more inner, silent, reflective period of time. It also really helped that we were camping in Anza Borrego amongst all the wildflowers that were blooming because of the intense winter storms that we have been having. So both he, Kate, and I really got to ground into the earth, really having that time of silent inner reflection. I found that I didn't want to speak to anybody. You know, I spoke to my kids because they were with me, but it was like I could text a little bit. But other than that, I wanted no communication, especially with adults. So let me know, has that been your experience at all? Have you been finding that you've been really needing this inner period of quiet, reflection, voices from your consciousness, your soul, that are coming up to you to be heard? Now, I do know we live in a very busy world and there's a lot going on. I mean, even just with the holidays, if you celebrate Easter, that's happening this early April. So there's all the things that we need to do, as parents, or choose not to, of course. But there's a lot of expectations around those. Can be religious, right? Can be religious observances, or just what we've chosen to do as a family. And I'll let you fill in how that works for you. It may be totally normal time. But again, there's this need to go slow. So if you were overbooked and overscheduled, or your children are overbooked and overscheduled, like whittle it down, parents, to the bare bones. That is going to help you so much move through this very turbulent whitewater time. And I know I keep saying that, and I wish I could say like, oh yeah, we're going to have clear sailing coming up. But that's just not what this moment is about. We are in this really big period of change. If you want to find more about that, I'm going to refer you back to the other video, because this one here, I really want to hone down on our experience as parents and our children. A really receptive energy and period of time is what's called for. To not be all the yang, all the doing, but can we go with the flow? Especially as the energy and the intensity of our world shakes up, ramps up, all that crumbling, all that changes, rug getting ripped out from underneath us is going to continue. So even as all that's happening, can we hone into our hearts and let our hearts be our guide forward? Can we balance the needs of the other with our own emotional care and safety? Our self-care, our nourishment. I mean, you know this, parents. We cannot give calm, space, understanding, compassion to our children, our teenagers, very well if we are running on empty. Think of it almost like being hangry. When you're hungry and you haven't rested, you haven't cared for yourself, there's this quicker reaction to anger. Easier to trigger back to our defaults. Our default programming from when we were children and how we were parented. And that might not have been emotionally aware, The generations before us had a much different perspective. And some of us still do. And there's no judgment of that, but we can't hold this emotional safe space if we haven't cared for ourselves. So there's going to be the balance between caring for ourselves, caring for others. That is going to continue well into next year. And there's also this energy too of emotional safe space. Mars did finally leave Gemini and moved into Cancer. So Mars wants to be the initiator, the leader, this trailblazer, to dare explore where others have dared not go before. Open roads, freedom, sovereignty. Okay, that is the theme of Mars and Aries. We have a lot of planets in Aries right now. We have 5 of them. So very highlighted themes. And yet there's also this dance of caring about the other. Highlighted especially at this Libra full moon. I'll talk about more of that in just a moment. But also too, we've got the solar eclipse happening on the 20th. So there's a lot here. And with Cancer, Mars ruling all those energies is in Cancer. So there's that need for safe space and warming up first of our passions, of our creative spark. So be aware that your children may need you, your teenagers, I'm feeling especially so, may need you to really hold a safe, secure space for them. Really highlighted all throughout this April for them to explore their individuality. They have to first know that they are emotionally safe and held first. To get to that passion burning inside of them, to their creativity, it might just be this tiny little spark to begin with right now. So how can you give that little spark kindling? Add in some more firewood. Maybe use breath to blow on it to, get it to get bigger slowly and slowly. So how might you be able to hold that kind of space for your children? And I will let you kind of fill in how that is shaping up in your life with them right now, because we're all different, having these different experiences. And one example too can be, instead of having this expectation that our children should be the ones to initiate new directions, maybe to go up to this new group of kids all by themselves and expecting them like, hey, go make friends. And like, yeah, you go do it. I don't want to deal with that. That's your job. That expectation that we can sometimes have. And we usually can have that more when we have an empty cup. Again, weaving the theming of caring for ourselves, nourishing ourselves, so we have the space within us to, instead of having that reaction of, no, you go make new friends. Hey, let me go walk beside you. Let me make sure you're comfortable. I'll go stand next to you and introduce your name first. You be the one to hold that space for them to start warming up a little bit more, to let their individual self come up. Another theme with Mars and Cancer is reparenting. And as I was saying earlier about two generations before us and how they were raised and how we might have been raised. Instead of, again, like, you go make friends by yourself, it's let me go with you to make sure that you're comfortable first. And then I'm going to step out and let you take control. So we can have those reparenting moments within ourselves where our children are having this experience. Maybe they've got some friends who were really mean to them, and all of a sudden you are taken back to when you were their age and your friends were being mean to you. Or the popular kids, the beautiful, sexy ones were being really shitty to you or something. And you're back there and you are 10 years old. You're 12, 14, 18. You may not have had a parent who could really sit with you in what you were going through emotionally. But you can give that to your inner child who's having this re-triggered experience. You can give that to them right now. You can reparent that lost, hurt part of your being and heal it. So this inner child work can really be highlighted at this time. Don't rush through any of those experiences. Don't think of them like a checklist, or to-do list that you need to rush to get through. Go slow. Be with those emotions. Be with that inner child. And always seek help, outside help, therapy, friends, counseling, if that's needed for you. We have a lot of planets, as I said, that are in Aries. So there can be a lot of this reactionary anger taking place, very instinctual reactions. So if you're finding that your children or teens are really like, whoa, why did you just get that angry over like me asking you to throw your trash in the trash bin and not on the floor? And it's like, World War III explosions and you're like, I just asked you to do this little tiny thing, or whatever it is. So do know that if your child or you are having that experiences, that is in the collective field, and just breathe through it. Stay in your heart space as much as possible and know that their intensity towards you, or maybe you towards your children, it's not personal. Like, it is really being amplified at this time. April is going to be a very major month, transformational month, especially around healing. We have Chiron and Jupiter right now in the sun. They're all conjunct in Aries. So this can be an experience of you or your children having illness or sickness, as if the body is really purging toxins from it. This can also, though, be around being our unique individual selves, our creative expressions, how we go to the beat of our own drum and trailblazing these new directions, or how in our early childhood or in past lives we were not allowed to do so. And then, of course, your children, their early experiences. So it can have this feeling of getting the wind knocked out of you or them for being different and unique, going where no one else has want to go. And it's like maybe they get in trouble too for moving their bodies, for following their instinct, because that's not allowed in the school or the program or sport that they're a part of. Chiron transits can be very raw and intense, this purging of the past. And with Jupiter there, Jupiter's going to be really expanding that. Jupiter's really saying, see this experience. You need to go into it. You need to see from this higher vantage point why you are having this unconscious, hurtful experience. And how, by going into that, okay, there's this energy of that wound, this soul wound, which is why it's so deep and cutting, how that can become your gift or your children's gift. So just know that these experiences that you or children are having, they're being brought to the surface at this time for a reason. And it's being directed by the soul itself. Now, our full moon is taking place on April 5th or 6th, depending where you live in the world, at 16 degrees of Libra. And again, if you need help with that, if you want to know where that falls, house, planets for yourself or your children, I am laughing right now because in the background, I hear my daughter, Kate, yelling at Eric. So intense, angry emotions being expressed, right? This is probably even getting picked up by the microphone. So I'm gonna go see that, and then I'll be right back. So I will add in, if you have, you have more than one child, the siblings might also be reacting to each other over nothing. I asked Kate why she was yelling at Eric, and she was like, well, it was his turn at the computer. And I'm like, why did you need to yell at him that way? And she's still going, like, so just know that's in the air. And if you're having that experience, just, breathe through it. And if you can, try and laugh. So, as I was saying, if you need help with that birth chart to see where this Libra full moon is for your children, please, again, reach out and we can do a reading for them. All right, so Libra is learning balance, justice, equality. Those are some of the themes. And listening as well. So, have you been listening to your children? Or is this something that you're still learning to do? How might this be showing up in your family right now? Let me know in the comments. I've found these few days in particular, I've really had to ask Kate, like, you're not listening to what Eric is telling you. Like, he's being very clear with his body, his reactions, that he doesn't want you to do this thing. So why are you not listening to him? Okay, so we have Venus. She is the ruler of Libra. She is in Taurus right now of her own sign. So again, there's this theme of really anchoring into our bodies, to the earth, and to our five senses. To be in the present moment and to be in our hearts, no matter what is taking place in the outer world around us at this time. No matter what those changes and turbulence that our children could be going through, to tune into our hearts. The best way to guide them through this transformational moment in time is to model this for them. How to be in compassion, to be in forgiveness, even with people who we may not agree with or have different perspectives. Can we still even see, like, that's their truth and this is mine? And hold that space of love, even as we might be standing up for injustice as well. So this is going to be that dance, that balance, is learning that all of us are being asked to go through. Our collective world experience is going to be getting rockier, shakier, more turbulent, more truth revealing taking place, from governments, systems, structures, from science and technology. That is this energy of Pluto moving out of Capricorn, dipping into Aquarius until early June, and Pluto's going to retrograde back to that 29 degrees. Pluto's also square to the moon's nodes right now, and the south node is in Scorpio. So what all of that means is we are going through this intense moment. We are going deep, powerful, shocking, earth-shaking, mind-shattering experiences in our world. What has not been working in those structures, in those systems, institutions, so we can catalyze the necessary change for our collective evolution. That square with Pluto will tighten. And that reverberation between the intensity and the need for slowness, space, time to integrate what Pluto has shown us, okay, that's going to increase and get faster. So don't be surprised if you start to see that coming up for you and your children. So focus in. What is being revealed for you as a parent, for your children and their experience? And are you able to hold the space for it? Because parents, you've been doing all that nourishing and self-care, right? So you have the space. You have said no to the extra obligations, and you said yes to you and your need to rest, and your need to drink water. That is going to all really help you, because we are needing to go into what is uncomfortable. Go into the darkness. And are we courageous enough to sit there in that darkness? Can we sit there alongside our children and whatever experiences they may be going through? Our children may be feeling a lot more rebellious as well, pushing for freedom, pushing on boundaries, really calling in a future that we can't even imagine, because it's from the actual future itself. So see how this plays out for you. See how you can, again, meet these energies, know that they are there, instead of like resisting. It's like, instead of like coming down harder with that hammer, can we hold out an open hand and say, show me, tell me what it is that you need in this moment. We have Eris energy in here as well. I won't get into the specifics, but she's really going to be this street fighter, this divine, rebellious, feminine energy fighting for the underdog, taking a stand, being in courage. We can see that coming out with our children this whole month of April especially, okay? As well as I said, Pluto being in Aquarius. Aquarius is all about this liberation, rebellion, freedom, going into that mind-shattering experience of the future. So tune into your children right now, into their energy. If you're seeing that they're anxious or overwhelmed, or they're just soaking in all that electrical energy around them, okay? Or maybe they're just angry. Give yourself permission to cancel whatever's on that schedule. Maybe even taking a mental health day from school and staying home. Maybe go on a walk together. Go to the beach, if you have that around you. Get into nature. Go garden, do something that really can ground you both to the earth, to your bodies, to what you love, and can you do that together? Even with everything that's playing out in our world, all these changes and transformation, this life, death, rebirth process, there is also magic. We are having this opportunity to really anchor into our dreams and our vision, and to help our children anchor into theirs. So don't be surprised as we move forward that we start to see, leaders of this future stepping forward, and that our children are those leaders. And so are you. You really are. So this is a time to be receptive, to not force, to not push. We're still in this yin flow energy. Surrender and let go all of your limiting beliefs around being a parent. The conditionings and patterns that may have been taught to you by your parents, by society, by schools. And when you make space, because you've let all that stuff go, you make space for all the new that is coming in. Those very changes that your children have come in to help build and to create. No matter what happens in this outside world, stay in your heart center. Stay in this energy of being on a co-creative journey with your children. Remember that you and they, your souls, said yes to be here in this moment of time because they knew you could. Step into your bravery, parents, into your courage. Reclaim any parts of you that may have gotten the wind knocked out of. This is a very powerful, transformational time. And you have what it takes to move through this and to support your children, to support each other moving through this together. I do hope this has been helpful. And again, if you need support, if you would like a consult call on the unique, amazing being that your children is, and you don't understand how they experience the way they do, their sensitivities, and you want to learn more, and please let's connect. And please, as always, like this video, subscribe to this channel. That truly helps me to connect to more parents like you who are really stepping into this moment in time, into your courage and this journey that your children are asking you to be on. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.